My husband and I have 3 daughters. Our girls were born with about 12 years between them. Our oldest is married with small 2 children living in Minnesota. Our middle girl is finishing her last year in college at New York University studying journalism. And our youngest daughter just turned 16. This story is mainly about our youngest. For the last 2 years, she has been talking about wanting to go into the military. She stated that she did not want to go to college. She said that as soon as she turns 18, she was joining the military. But she would like for us, her parents, to sign off on her going at 17. Every chance that she gets, she talks about the benefits of the military. She is on the computer researching the basic information of joining the military. She was also trying to decide which branch of the military she wanted to attend. She found out that as a teenager, she could participate in what is called the Basic Cadet Training Program. It is a military training facility that introduces our future young adults the fundamentals of the military life. The training introduces intense physical activities, respect, and disciplinary skills. Our daughter, even at a young age, was very engaging to detail. When she set her mind on something, it became a challenge. In soccer, at playing softball, and even with gymnastics. She enjoyed the physical part of playing sports. She respected the process of learning, and she was disciplined with the time and schedule of each activity. She now has her sights on joining the military. So she made sure she was keeping up with all the enrollment procedures and dates. Her father and I are so proud of her. And so are her 2 older sisters. For her 17th birthday, she stated that the only gifts that she wanted were gifts that she could take with her to basic cadet training. So the birthday items that we bought her were mainly personal hygiene items, books, and study material. After months of research and multiple basic military enrollment seminars, our little girl decided on joining the Air Force. Her basic cadet training boot camp was going to take 8 rigorous weeks at a facility in southern Texas. Then she would participate in the next step of the military academy, which is a 4-year program. Her goal was to be a female pilot. Our baby girl was getting ready to attend her graduation ceremony from high school. All of us were attending her ceremony. She was turning 18 and she would be leaving for her basic cadet training, all within the same month. We had a big celebration to honor our little girl. Her whole family was there, and all her friends came. 2 weeks later, our little girl was on her way to start the beginning of her life in the military. While she was in training, she did not call home much, only on Sundays. But she did keep us informed almost daily with her text messages. She said that it was tough, but it was tough with everyone. She made lots of new friends, but they were all kept on a strict schedule. Before you knew it, the 8 weeks came and went, and our little girl came home. We spent long evenings talking about her training and about all her new friends that she met from all over the country. She had a few weeks home, then she would be starting her 4-year academy training. Well, we just dropped our little girl off at the airport. She will be living at an Air Force Academy training facility in Colorado. Whenever we would visit her, we would fly into Denver, rent a car, and drive about 70 plus miles to the academy. We would do this about every 3 months. Well, about 2.5 years passes by, and one day our daughter calls me. She stated that she would be coming home soon for a visit, so we would not have to make the next trip to visit her. Well, 3 months passed by. Then by the time the 5th month came by, she informed us that she would be home in 2 weeks. When she flew home, she stated that she had a ride from the airport, and she would see us at home. Our middle daughter was also currently at home. She had finished her degree, but was taking some other classes in journalism. So we were all excited to see our baby girl. We did not hear the car pull into the driveway, but we heard the doorbell ring. Her father, myself, and our middle daughter all ran to the door together. When we opened the door, we all stood in disbelief as we looked at our little girl. She was no longer little. She was about 8 months pregnant, and she had all her things with her. As she came wobbling in, holding her huge belly, we stood at the doorway with our mouths hanging open. Her father collected her things and brought them indoors, while her sister and I hugged her and rubbed her expanding belly. As we all sat down, she informed us that she was in her early stages of pregnancy the last time we saw her, but she was not ready to tell us then. She told us that the guy she was seeing was the father, and he also was at the same academy. She had just over a year yet to finish, so after the baby is born, she wants to go back to complete the courses. After all of us got over the shock of seeing our little girl's big belly, we welcomed this surprising bundle of joy. Well, the baby was born a month later. It was a baby girl. The young man and his parents flew into town to see their only son's firstborn. Our daughter and this young man were no longer seeing each other, but he wanted to be a part of his baby daughter's life. Well, as the time passes by, our daughter never did go back and complete her academy courses. In the beginning, our daughter and the baby lived at home with us, but eventually she moved out and was living well on her own. She never asked us for anything, and the baby's father and his parents were a big part of her little life. They came into town quite often to see the baby. He had child care payments taken out of his work checks every pay period to make sure he was doing his part with the upbringing of his daughter. And as she got older, our daughter allowed them to come and get the baby and take her to their home for visits. When our granddaughter was about 3 years old, her father got married to one of the other academy cadets that was also at the base with him and our daughter. She was in the same bunk facility with our daughter, so they knew each other. Within a year of marriage, his new wife was encouraging her new husband to get a paternity test on our granddaughter. She stated that our daughter was messing with someone other than him at the time of conception. He did not believe her, but eventually she talked him into it. So, on our granddaughter's next visit, he swabbed his and her mouths. and sent it in for the paternity test. Within 1 week, the results were back. His daughter was not related to him at all. All this time, this was not even his child. Him and his parents loved her, and now they are all devastated. Our daughter was over to our house when he called. He was on the phone screaming at her. All she was saying was that she would catch the next flight out to go get her daughter. But what was so surprising to us was she did not seem to be surprised or upset, as though she was waiting till this day came. She was booked on the next flight that same evening. She came back home the next day with our granddaughter, and our granddaughter said that her daddy did not like her anymore. We all were heartbroken. Well, after a couple of weeks, our daughter finally tells us the truth to who fathered our granddaughter. She stated that she started having an affair with her married commander. She told him about the pregnancy, and he paid her to have the baby and to keep it quiet. And he was making monthly child care payments also. Then, a little before she was set to leave the academy to come home, the commander's wife found out and asked her if her husband knew about the baby. She lied to the wife, stating that she has not told him yet. The wife told her if she kept it from her husband, she would pay her monthly payments to not tell him. So, our daughter lied about who fathered her baby. And she was receiving monthly child care payments from 3 different sources. Miss V, what happened to our daughter to get herself involved in such a mess? How could she lead a young man into believing he fathered a baby, then hurt him and his parents in such a manner? Your daughter was so wrong in hurting this young man and his family. I can see if she did not know who fathered her child, then the right thing would have been to let the prospective fathers know they needed to take a paternity test. There are too many cases in which women picks and chooses who they want to be the father of their babies, only to bring hurt on everyone involved when the truth comes out. Especially a father that would have loved to have been involved in their child's life. They lose out on all the beginning stages of that child's developments. To deliberately lie is a whole other thing. It is just plain cruel. My advice, men, get a paternity test if there is even the slightest thought. If you are enjoying my videos, please hit the like, share, and subscribe buttons